Welcome to the fourth episode of the great American novel, Devil's Canyon. I realized I didn't do a lead in to the last episode, so let me catch you up real quick. We were minus one of our members during the last session, Bill Dumluck McLean, so we did a little maintenance in a flashback sequence at the top end of this episode to cover what went on there. One of the things that I'm really coming to love about this particular system is all the twists and turns that it takes. Now, I'm still in the habit of kind of pre planning each session, but letting the characters tell the story, it takes a lot of unexpected avenues along the way, and I'm really having to stay on my toes to adapt to the situation way more than any other game that I've played over the years. It's really good to be working with such a creative group, and I'm really lucky to have these friends who have reunited from across the country to bring this story to you. I hope you continue to enjoy, and please like and subscribe. Apparently, I'm supposed to say that at the top of each episode, so there it is. I'm sure we're going to have more stories to tell, even if this one concludes after the next couple of episodes. So stay tuned. Thanks a lot.
We are up and running.
Hey, all right. So one thing that we had to do at the beginning of last session was kind of fast forward through the little confrontation between Bill and Roland Hazard. He had showed up after the seance and had basically called you out. So if we could maybe play through that scene real quick, just so we kind of know what happened, and then we can catch up to where we are in the current timeline.
All right.
So you had stepped out to speak with Roland, who was calling you out from the church after the seance, and I think the last words that he had spoke to you were something to the effect of, "Is that you underneath that beard?"
Well, yes, it is, Roland. Wish I could say it was nice to see you again.
Yeah, same here. So what brings you about these parts?
Well, though it doesn't seem like it's working very well, I was hoping to get away from all that stuff that I assume that you're addressing.
Yeah, it looks like you picked the wrong town to settle down in.
Sure seems like it. There's all kinds of crazy stuff going on. Roland, there's not much we can do to change what happened before. But I reckon it's probably best to just let sleeping dogs lie and each go our separate ways again.
Well, you didn't know too much about that fellow you shot down in the streets of Santa Fe, did you?
Well, I knew he was giving me trouble, and he was with you, and it didn't end so well for him. It's about all I cared to know.
That's true. And then you shot him, and you run off.
I'd prefer to think that I was defending myself. But looks like the years have treated us differently, so you're welcome to remember it whatever way you need to, Roland.
Well, what I remember is some no-account coward shooting my brother down in the street.
Well, that may be. But again, like I said, he was threatening, you all were threatening. He went to draw first, and I took care of it.
That's how you see it, eh?
That's right.
Well, you know what? I'm going to give you a little chance here. You're free to stay up here,
Well,
but
I don't know that I need your permission, Roland, but thanks all the same.
you best stay out of my way.
But what way would that be?
Well, you said you've seen what's going on in that town, right? What's your opinion of what's going on in that town?
I think you can figure that pretty good.
Mm-hmm. And I think I can figure you pretty good, and I think I know you well enough that you're probably going to stick your nose into some business that it doesn't need to be stuck in.
That might be.
I guess things shall remain to be seen then.
I reckon that, and you can go ahead and head back down the hill back into town. Now, let's do our best to stay out of each other's way.
I think that'll be wise. And he hops on his horse and he trots on back down the hill. And it was at about this point that you retired everyone for the evening, and everyone went about their merry little way. And Lillian, I think you, if you recall, you had been reminded that the following night there was to be a performance for the Callahan family, the Coyotes. And so there was some discussion about, exactly what you were going to do. And I didn't know if there had really been any decision made about what approach you were going to take to your performance for the evening. So perhaps we need to at least get that rolling so that we kind of know where we're heading with that.
Well, I turned that over and over in my mind for a bit, and in consultation with some of the crew, came to the conclusion that Cornelius Callahan, since he's grieving for his two sons, would appreciate being put in touch with them, and that if I can put on quite a show, that maybe we can make fleeting contact with them, just enough to whet his appetite. And I'm willing to use all the trickery and fakery and showmanship that I have at my disposal to make sure that he's drawn in, and maybe we can leverage his interest in connecting on a more deeper level with his sons to get what we need, to get the tasimeter up and running and located where it needs to be. And if there's a gun involved and shenanigans in that sense, like whatever we need and whatever I can figure out we need, maybe we can try to get those things in place. That's where I'm at.
And Julius, you've been given the plans for the Gatling guns that are set to arrive at some point today.
Yes. Can I share those with you now?
Oh,
Did I
yeah,
share
sure.
with you already?
Mhm.
Did we already look at those? Yes.
I don't know if we looked at those or not. Yeah, I think we did look at those,
We looked at those
yes.
last time?
Mhm.
I'm not sure if we did. Okay, good.
Mhm.
Just want to make sure that that's what you were talking about. Yes, we have the plans right here for the Gatling gun.
Mhm.
You,
And Elias, what were your plans after leaving the general store?
I gotta go back and take care of the girl that's all injured at
Okay.
the doctor's place, and basically tend to her and make sure everything's all right there, and kind of await Julius coming to get me to build a Gatling gun.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. So why don't we start then with Elias heading back to the doctor's office there?
Which doctor's office? Me doctor or a different doctor? The dead
The
doctor?
The doctor's office.
Oh, the cholera
Uh,
doctor.
Yeah.
The doctor died. Didn't he die? No. Still
No, he's
alive?
not dead.
No.
He's at the mining camp.
He put you in charge of things because he was dying, dead.
Yeah, he gave me a book, so I just Google stuff.
Okay, but he's not dead. He's still alive.
As far as
He
we
is
know.
still alive. Yes, yeah. Hmm.
Wow.
That's Dr. O'Malley.
Mm.
This little fella right here.
Looks like a
He's
butcher.
still alive. He looks good there.
He does look good there. Yeah, maybe I should have colored him a little green or yellow, jaundiced.
Yeah, he's looking good.
I don't recall the name of the girl who I'm taking care of, unfortunately. It's been an exciting couple of moments.
That is an excellent question. Now, the girl that's taken
Was it
taken
Ava?
care of her,
Trudy.
Trudy. I can't seem
Yes,
to find her little. Oh, there she is. There's Trudy.
Ah, yes. A looker.
And then her friend is. I think I kind of made that up last time. Too many notes.
Was it Ava?
Yeah, I think that's right. Ava. We will go with Ava.
Am I back at the doctor's office?
Yes, sir.
And Trudy and Ava are both there?
Yeah. Hmm. And Ava is still laying down. She took her into the doctor's bedroom and laid her in the bed there after she was able to kind of move, enough to get her in there. So she's resting quietly and she's asleep. But Trudy is there.
Miss
And,
Trudy.
Mhm.
Yeah. How is she faring?
Well, she seems to be resting well. Her breathing is still a little labored, but she seems to be stable at this time.
We'll take that as good news then. Are you holding up all right yourself, ma'am?
I'm doing okay. I slept off and on throughout the night, but I was trying to keep as close an eye on her as I could. I wanted to make sure that she was all right.
Well, I do appreciate it. I just had a run-in with young Mr. Waverly, and, well, I didn't give him full peace of my mind, but I did let him know that what he did was bad for overall business, and hopefully he will take that to mind. If the man thinks of anything, perhaps it will be his money.
Yeah, that may be the only thing he thinks of.
Yes, I understand. Is there anything I can do for you right now?
No. I suppose I should probably get back over to the brothel, and I'll send one of the other girls over here to look after Ava.
That would be mighty kind. If you're able to spare somebody, then please do. I'm afraid my afternoon appears to be getting rather full lately.
Well, as I said before, you let me know if there's anything that I can do, and I'll be there for you. You did quite an amazing thing last night, and I will be forever in your debt.
Thank you, Trudy. Miss Trudy, I truly do appreciate that. And if at any point something came up, I will certainly let you know. But for now, you just worry about Ava and taking care of your girls, and I'll do the same.
I will. Thank you.
I'm going to go check on her now and make sure she's comfortable.
Okay. Quick question.
Mhm.
Who has the little document that fell out of the medical book?
I think I still do.
Do you still have that? I thought I remembered you saying you put it in your pocket when you went down to visit the doctor at the mining commune.
Yes, because I showed it to Dr. Julius, and he deciphered Vumbi and Nvumbi.
Hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you do still have that on your person then?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. All right. Miss Tipple,
Yes,
what do you do? I think you and Lillian and Julius had kind of run off to kind of escape the gaze of Waverly Callahan. And I should maybe go to all three of you. What did you do like right after that?
I went back to the hotel.
I think I did too.
Okay. And what do we want to accomplish in the meantime until the next little event happens to crop up?
I'm going to spend my one plot point.
Okay.
So I think the three of us go back to the hotel, and as we go in the front, the gentleman at the, I don't know if it's a gentleman or a lady at the front desk,
Mm-hmm.
says that she has a postcard for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I take the postcard. It's a picture of like a drawing of Abraham Lincoln. And there's no writing except for the hotel address. And,
Okay.
And it's blank. And so I look at Dr. Julius and I say, Dr. Julius, do you happen to have a candle handy in your room?
Of course.
And I think the three of us go to Dr. Julius's room.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, excuse me, I really didn't know you both were coming. I leave you outside in the hallway for a moment while I go in and make the bed and dust things off a little bit and arrange things. And in about 3 minutes, I say, yes, please come in. Sorry about the wait.
Sorry. So sorry. So we wait until you call us back in there?
Yep, in the hallway.
Dr. Julius, are you okay in there?
Yeah, we're all good. Now, everything's fine. Yes, please come in. Everything's fine. You're welcome to sit where you like, sit on the bed.
Thank you. Thank you. I just need a candle and a book of matches, please.
It is, of course. And I open near the bedside drawer, some instruments are there on the bedside table. And I open it, just some random tools, and I open it. A couple books are there too. And I open it and hand you you see an edition of Edgar Allan Poe there, actually. And a Shakespeare. Complete works, third folio. And I hand you the candle.
Thank
Does
you.
he have to roll to find out how impressed we are?
I'm going to put the Shakespeare.
When I spend a plot point, they aren't.
That's a slam dunk.
He does his best. I do my best.
Okay, so I take the candle and I light the match and I light the candle. And I take my postcard and I run the flame over the postcard, over the blank postcard. And a message appears as it's been written in milk, so no one can read it. When you apply the heat to it, it appears. And it says, sorry, I have to find it. Okay, the postcard says, be aware, Luke Shorty Studenmeyer gang expanded their territory, currently encamped at Montrose. They've commandeered the train station. Many are coming.
What's his last name? Luke Shorty what?
Studenmeyer, Studenmeier.
Okay.
I ask you what that means. Do you know these people?
I have heard of Luke Shorty Studenmeyer before. back in the Pinkerton home office, we have many files of as many gangs that we know of, and we have a list of some of the names of the members. His name is very well known to me. He, in his gang, their territory is pretty much the Four Corners area, but it sounds like they're the rival gang that the Coyote Gang was talking about.
Hmm.
Are they really bad?
Say again?
I wondered if they're really bad. Should we be scared?
Oh, very scared. Luke Studemeyer he's formidable. He's an expert marksman. I don't know how big the gang is now, but he had about 20 hands before. He gets rid of people pretty easily out of his gang now, so it could be less, it could be many more.
Could you read the note one more time, please?
Yes. Be aware. Luke Shorty Studemeyer gang expanded their territory, currently encamped at Montrose. They've commandeered the train station. Many are coming.
Many what do you think are coming? Many more of the gang or many something else?
Is that not what the spirits told us at the seance? Many are coming?
That is what we heard up at the Pueblo. Whoa.
Well, this is from home office. This is from Mr. Pinkerton himself. We're very close. That's who I write to. Maybe he knows something. Maybe the Pinkertons are coming. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's more gangs. I don't know. I don't know what it means.
But couldn't we use this perhaps as an opportunity to lure the Coyote Gang to the train station and just get them both in a little meeting together, let's say?
Well, what time did they say that the guns were arriving in the station? Did they tell you?
They said sometime today.
But we don't know the time the train is coming in. So if they've commandeered the train station, what do you think they're trying to get?
The guns?
Yeah, that's what I think.
But so if we tell the Coyote Gang about this, then the Coyote Gang will go to the train station and stop them from commandeering the guns, which means perhaps we might be able to solve some of our problem.
If we get them all out of town.
Or at least a few of them. I mean, if we can take a few out, always put your enemies together.
Let them fight it out.
Yeah, that's almost a quote. Almost. Art of war, have your enemies fight each other.
How would we convince them, and how do we tell them that we know this? I can't blow my cover. Nobody knows.
You can't blow your cover, can you?
No.
And we've only learned about the machine guns arriving through them. So they know when the train's arriving.
That would make sense.
Perhaps we can convince them that security is needed to make sure that the package arrives here safely, so as many of them should go to pick it up as possible.
Then we get them all out of town. And
Well, I'm a consultant on the case, so I could say if you really want us to put the gun together, you want it to be assembled, we need to make sure the gun gets here safely. And these days, you can't be too cautious.
Right.
But encourage them to bring as many of their friends as possible to pick up the gun.
I think that's a good idea. Are you willing to do that, to put yourself in that position with the Coyote Gang?
Yes, I think I'm already in that position, given that I have to assemble this gun for them. So why not go a little deeper? So we don't hurt anything.
I think that's a great idea.
Okay.
Lillian,
Yeah,
ideas, comments, ideas? What do you think?
No, that sounds like a great idea. I'd say that in general, I can convey any information on the premise that it's a message from beyond. but I'm not sure the timing is right because I feel like the train is due in the station probably before our show. But I mean, if it seems safer that this message come from beyond, your advice is very practical. You know, you can't be too careful. That's absolutely true. They'd be silly to not follow that advice. But if you need me to reinforce the message, I can try to get that to them. I just don't know that they'll pay any attention to me. I'm a woman.
You think we should say the message is from beyond, that we've learned of this? Or will they just think we're crazy?
I will say that Cornelius Callahan has shown a particular interest in the magic and fortune-telling portion of your show, which is why he is kind of forcing you guys to continue to perform for them and keeping you in the town for his amusement. So I think Lillian's gut feeling is that he is a believer, you know, at least to the point where, you know, it's captured his fancy.
Okay.
So the gang's coming to the theater tonight to see your show, is that correct?
That is correct.
Town Square, yes. Mm-hmm.
Town Square. So perhaps we can embed the secret message in the show itself. You see, that perhaps if there's a reading, the reading can say the package arriving at the train station tonight will be like a sort of pretend that we don't know what the meaning of it is. Put an embedded secret code that they will get and have it come from beyond.
And what is our goal? Do we want the most of them that we can convince to go to the train station Or
Yes. And if they all hear that something's wrong with their package, that something's happening, maybe they'll go try to get, I don't know, get their package. Could that be a possibility?
Yes. What time does this train arrive? And what time is the show? I'm so confused.
I think the show usually commences around
Right.
7
The
p.m.
show is after the train arrives. That would be
So, Lillian, can you go to Callahan himself and tell him that you have a message for him, and then he can tell his gang to get out of town?
Yes.
He may still want to come to the show. He wants to speak to his sons.
Right. If I leave here now and make my way back to the troop so I can gather my props, I'll stop on the way if I can find Cornelius in town and give him the message that I've received a message about the train or the package or something cryptic. And then, how smart is he? How
But I will
cryptic?
go with you and say, if this is really true, you need to send as many people as possible to pick up the package, which we both know what that is.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
We can be together with it. You see?
But I want to keep him in town.
No, we want them all to go. We want them all to go, don't we? Don't we trying to get rid of this gang? You want, right? Are we trying to get rid of them all?
I think we're trying to get rid of them all, but I said, I wonder if Callahan himself, Cornelius, will want to stay and speak to his sons no matter what. He seemed pretty upset the other day, earlier.
Can we gain the upper hand if we keep him in town but send most of his men to the train? Can we kidnap him?
Why not? Maybe we can get Bill to help.
Where is he anyway?
Bill?
I think I'm still up at the Pueblo.
He's
Yes.
always up at the Pueblo. He's always up at the
Yeah.
Abbey.
I'm kind of a homebody.
Iglesia up there on the hill.
See,
All right. You two, maybe you want to go talk to Cornelius. I can try to go talk to Bill and see if he can help us.
Okay.
Okay. So let's go to Miss Tipple and Bill first. Now, I assume you're gonna traverse the cave again to try to get up there to
I
go
will
in
get
secret.
up there, however, I won't be seen
Yeah, that's the best way not to be seen for sure.
trudging through the cave.
Okay.
Let us know how those bobcat babies are doing. Are they?
No cougars. I assume that Bill
I would get that wrong.
dug a shallow grave for them.
Those have been processed accordingly.
Breakfast.
This is going to be
Cougar
the one
skin
thing
cap.
we remember about this game is those poor,
Grandpa
poor dead cougar babies.
Desperate times.
Bill have a new little hat on. Or
They
a
have
hat
a
on.
bunch of tails, little tiny tails.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, instead of just one, like.
That's a memory I'd like to forget. Okay. So he's inside the church. Where are you at? I'm going to knock on the door wherever you're at. Knock, knock. Bill?
Yeah.
Bill, it's Alice. Can you come out and talk to me, please?
Yeah, sure. Well, you're welcome to come in. Forgive the mess.
Gonna pick up your books and things.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
I know that Shakespeare's around here somewhere.
Bill, we've got a bit of an issue. Besides all the other issues we have, I've received a postcard from the home office from Mr. Pinkerton himself, warning about a rival gang that is in Montrose. I'm aware of who this gang is. I may know a couple of the members. Some of the names on the list I may have recognized at some point. I don't know who's in the gang now, though. It says that they have commandeered the train station. That means they probably know of a couple of Gatling guns that are coming in on that train that the Coyote gang have ordered, and they want Julius to put them together. This gang, the Luke Shorty Studemeyer gang, that's the man himself, they're pretty scary. I would say they're usually more in number than the Coyote gang, and they kill their own members pretty often and gain new members pretty often as well. So this is a problem, and Julius and Lillian and I have thought that we might tell Cornelius from the beyond that the gang needs to go to Montrose so we can get them out of town. They can confront the other gang. But the idea was maybe Cornelius stays in town so that he can speak to his sons and we can kidnap them.
Okay. So this Shorty gang, you think might they end up being worse than the ones we got already?
It's very possible. Luke Studemeyer has killed dozens of men, sometimes just because he doesn't like the way they look at him. He's wanted in several states, and the other thing is that he was a former Confederate captain. So his gang started out with as a group of Confederates that just plowed through the Southwest. They got nothing to lose, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be happy enough to get rid of Cornelius and Roland and the rest of those fellas. but I'd worry about replacing one with another. You reckon to try to pit them against each other more than they already are?
That's what that's what Julius said. I don't know though. I don't know if there's a way that we can get the guns before them. You ever robbed a train, Bill?
I haven't, but I do agree with that fancy doc in town that I think at least if you can get the gangs against each other, at least they'll thin the numbers a little bit on either side. The trick would be getting it to where neither of them suspect that you're the one that put them there.
Exactly, and I'm not sure how to do that. I wonder, that fella that came up here last night, Roland. I wonder if I might not be able to make an appeal to him and somehow, be the guy that tells him that he needs to take some guns up to Montrose. Bill has, Roland Hazard?
You could say that. I shot one of his fellas a few years ago, and honestly, he kind of has it out for me, but just wondering if there's not a way that coming from me, it might mean something to get him up there.
Maybe like an olive branch. You're offering him vital information.
That's what I'm thinking. That kind of as an exchange for shooting his fella. That and because I do want to make things right, and I do want to kind of get out all this. I just wonder if he might take that bait.
Well, if you're willing to try that, why don't we go and speak to Lillian and Julius and see what they think. Do you mind coming back into town?
Nope, not at all. Well, let's head back that way.
You're riding on Clyde? Come back into town?
Yep. All right, so we trot down the hill, back into town, tie the horse up, and do we head back to the hotel where the others are?
Yeah, and I think probably at this point, Dr. Julius has changed to his afternoon outfit. Probably took a good 30 minutes or so, and maybe you spot them as they're coming down the stairs.
Dr. Julius?
Yes.
Bill has a plan. Let's go somewhere private and talk.
Should we get Lillian as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Or she's with you, right? Is she walking down the stairs?
I assumed so.
Okay, that's what I thought. Lillian, Julius, Dr. Julius, please, let's go somewhere private so we can speak.
Of course.
Someone's room?
Whose room?
I don't know, what do you think? Who's got a big enough room?
Julius probably has the
Not
suite.
for my room again, but I need another moment, please.
Take all the time you need.
Okay, we're in my room. What are we going to talk about? What's up?
Do you want to tell him?
Well, Miss
Bill's
Tip tells
here
me.
too. Bill's here too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay, good.
Miss Tipple tells me that there's a a second gang and told me the whole story about the Gatling guns and the train station and the Shorty gang and all that. And
Of course.
I figured rather than putting any of you folks in danger, maybe I could try my hand at getting the Coyote gang, to go up there by talking to Roland.
And how might you do that? What would your plan be?
He and I had a discussion the other night that, kind of about our past. We have some shared experience where I shot one of his fellas, and there's some hard feelings, but I have expressed to him my wish for sort of making amends and getting out of that life, and I reckon he might be able to take a tip from me that those gangs' interests are in danger, and that they should head up to Montrose to secure their wares. And I thought rather than put either of these ladies at risk or yourself, that we might try that first.
Well, that sounds like a fine plan to me. What do you think? Lillian, Miss Tipple?
I think if the Coyote gang can take out the Shorty gang, we'll be in better position to deal with the Coyote gang.
Excellent.
Lillian, what do you think?
That works for me.
Can I also ask just how far Montrose is from where we are?
15 miles.
All right.
Did you say it was a half-day ride?
A couple hours, probably.
Couple hours?
We better get going. We better move our plan forward quickly if we are to hope that they get into the train station when the train arrives.
Right. So I reckon I should head over, talk to Roland.
Okay. He can usually be found in the the gambling hall, Gold Strike Gambling Hall and Hotel. So it's really just connected to the hotel itself here.
Okay. Well, I'll leave the horse where he is and just sort of head over there and see if I can find him.
Okay. Going into the gambling hall, it's not as lively as one would normally assume a gambling hall would be, simply because of the state of affairs here in Devil's Canyon. But there's a few folks playing cards at some of the tables, and Roland is seated at a table with Jacques Luffy, who is our little friend that set up the whole Gatling gun deal, and Cornelius and his brother Sherwood. And then there's two other fellas that are seated at the table, sweating bullets right now, because it looks like they've probably been forced to play with these guys.
I try to walk in such a way that I'm visible to Roland,
Mm-hmm.
so that he can notice me first, rather than me having to call him out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's seated pretty much right across from the front entrance as you come in, and as the doors part and the dust flies in, you definitely catch his eye.
So there's a bar in there too, I assume.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So I sit down at the bar and order a drink,
Mm-hmm.
and try to match his eye or catch his eye, and just kind of give him the high sign to come over here.
All right. He finishes up his hand lays it on the table, and he gets up and starts heading over your way.
All right. As he's walking up, I'll take out my gun and just set it on the bar, just sort of as a sign of no aggression intended.
Okay.
Still within reach, but not at the not at the draw.
Yeah. He comes over and he puts his foot up on the little foot bar there at the bar itself, and he says, "Well, didn't expect to see you so soon."
Well, Roland, after our little talk last night, and got me thinking. I know we've had our differences, and we've certainly had conflict in the past, but considering my this peaceful life I'm trying to live, I thought I'd try to extend an olive branch to you if you're willing to hear it.
All right, I'm listening.
Well, I understand that you fellas got a delivery coming in by train today or sometime soon. Is that right?
Where'd you hear that?
Well, I took a ride up to Montrose, and I don't know that you'd be too happy with what's going on at the train station up there. I just thought I'd let you know, in the interest of goodwill.
Are you trying to navigate others here, I think? I think I'm going to have you roll for that. That's a personality roll.
Figures. All right. So
And you are rising still, correct?
Yes. I think I'm at a +3.
Oh, okay.
So do I roll both? I roll 2 die, right?
Yes, both dice.
I rolled an 11, and my personality is -1.
Oh, okay. All right. So that's still a 10. So you still have full narrative control. So you can tell me how Roland responds.
Well, being as earnest and convincing as I was, Roland is hesitant, but I can tell that he's definitely interested in the information, because of how important that cargo is, and so he's willing to listen to the rest of my story, and I just give him bits and pieces of what I actually know. Some gang from up north, some about some guy named Shorty or something like that. He's got about 30 guys at the train station just locking it down, waiting for the train to show up. And like I said, I don't know who he is. I heard the name Shorty, but they've got a bunch of well-armed men up there, and I reckon they aim to take what you got on the train. And Roland goes back to the table and kind of whispers in Cornelius's ear, and they all leave the table, and I don't follow them, but they leave, and I'm not sure where they're going, but I expect that they're going up to take a crew up to Montrose.
All right. So you do see them head out. And I think, did Miss Tipple and Lillian, you guys were still with Julius at the hotel, correct?
Hanging out in his room, his messy room, apparently.
Okay.
No, not messy, not messy.
Just reading books.
Elias, at this point, you probably, maybe have had the opportunity to kind of check up on Ava, make sure that she's stabilized, and one of the other ladies of the night comes over to take over the next shift of looking after her. So what do you want to do in the meantime? This would be happening, while Bill is in there talking to Roland.
How much time do I have? How far away is that mining town where I left a note for the doctor? How long does it take to get there?
It doesn't take very long. 10-minute walking. So
okay, I want to pop down there to see if he's left me a note, because I left him a note.
Okay.
So
all right. Yeah, you get down there with surprisingly, the streets are really even maybe a little bit more barren than usual. And you don't see anybody really scouting from the Coyote Gang's standpoint like you did last time. And sure enough, there is another letter up there for you.
oh, letter. Correspondence. I hope the doctor's doing all right. Well, let me see what this says. What does it say?
It says, "Dear Elias, oh, my friend, I regret that you have stumbled across that wretched piece of parchment. I had long thought it lost. I should have burned it ages ago, along with the book from which it came. Some 10 years ago, after the death of my beloved Catherine, I came across a Negro peddler who seemed in desperate need of shelter and care. And in exchange for my services and learning of the recent loss of my wife, he gave me the one and only possession he considered of value, a book written in a language foreign to me. I accepted his gift with gratitude, and curiosity got the better of me. And after several months of searching, I met a former slave that was able to reveal to me the true meanings behind the ancient texts in that tome. It is some form of dark African witchcraft. She called it Vodun. What that man gave me was an ancient book of the dead. That particular passage, God forgive me, was one that I could never bring myself to destroy, because at its core, it is a ritual to supposedly raise the dead. Now, I was never foolish enough to attempt to speak the words myself, but somewhere deep in my grief, I believe I have held on to the hope that therein lies a secret beyond what I know to be true. Part of me yearns to hold on to the hand of my dear Catherine again, but I know that can never be. Do us both a favor and reduce that page to ash. Forget that you ever saw it. I should have done so a long time ago."
Oh dear. It appears we've stumbled upon something rather sinister. Oh, I should burn it. I should do exactly what my friend asked me to, but I shall think on it. I need to leave him a note. I'm going to pull another little piece of paper out and scribble something down. Good doctor, developments in the town are rather tragic. I'm caring for Ava, one of Trudy's girls. She took quite a beating and punctured her lung, but it seems to be stabilizing and doing well, all things considered. I shall take... I thank you for your correspondence and for the clarity in the letter that I found within your book. I shall take to heart your request to burn it. I hope that you are doing well and that we shall see each other again soon. All the best. Your friend, Elias. And then in quotes I put Doc Carver. Oh no, that's presumptuous. Scribble. You always make an ass of yourself, Elias. Oh, I think he'll understand. It's just a joke. And I fold it up and I pin it to the post and I mumble off. I should get back to town. Perhaps Dr. Julius is looking for me. Or at least that man is a real doctor. Elias, always reaching for the stars and tripping over your own feet. I just toddle back then. But I continually read his note, particularly the passage about raising the dead and what it potentially can do, the whole time I'm walking back.
And as you're walking back and reading the note over and over again, you feel almost like just a faint warmth in your pocket.
Kind of put my hand on the outside. That's where the note's at.
It is.
Strange. It's amazing what the mind can do when you seem to lose control of it. I swear there is a heat coming from it. It's almost like the text is alive.
And as you round the corner, you see Roland Hazard. Sorry, go ahead.
Is that a Necronomicon, or are you just happy to see me?
You see Cornelius Callahan and Jacques Lefy and Roland Hazard coming out of the casino. And they seem to be moving with haste up the street and around the corner to where you kind of know a lot of the gang kind of has commandeered an old ranch. They're just on the outskirts of the main street. And they seem to be just a tiny bit in a hurry.
Well, something strange is afoot. Oh, I don't typically see them move so fast. I wonder what has happened.
And Bill, what are you doing now that they've left?
I'm gonna sit there and finish my whiskey and wait for. I think he's assuming the others will come down, from the hotel room or whatever to see how it went.
And is that the case? Others?
I'll go down to the gambling hall. Is that where he's at, the gambling hall, right?
Yes.
We'll go down for a drink.
Elias, you spot Alice, Miss Tipple, coming out of the hotel and then just rounding the corner there to go towards the gambling hall.
Oh,
You were in my. Shouldn't we all go for a drink? Are you proposing we go get a drink right now in the middle of the day?
Go get a drink, everybody.
Let's go get a drink.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all go, of course. If she's not going to leave the room and say we're going to go get a drink, and we're not. Of course, we're all going for a drink.
Okay. You see the three of them coming out.
oh, excuse me, Miss Tipple, Miss Lillian, Dr. Julius. It's me, Elias. I have an interesting development on that paper that I found, but it appears as though I've perhaps missed something in town. I just saw part of the gang leave, and they seem to be in a bit of a hurry. Do you know of any new developments? What is happening?
Yes, Elias. Come inside. Let's get a drink, and we'll tell you all about it.
Oh,
I'd say that's good news.
yes. Oh, I seem to have missed quite a bit. Have you all spent all day together? Oh, well, okay, let's go inside. I think a drink could do us all quite well. May I join you?
Yes, come on.
Oh, great, thank you.
Our gang.
Thank
Our
you.
gang.
Oh, we should come up with a name. Perhaps when this is over, we can come up with something clever. Dr. Julius, you seem like a well-read man.
Well, of course we can, Doctor.
Oh, great. Okay. Perhaps the doctors. I'm sorry. I digress. Please. Have the consumption. After you. I follow them into the gambling hall.
All right. And Bill is seated at the bar, polishing off a glass of whiskey.
Oh, Bill is here as well. Oh, nice.
Is there a bartender here in the bar?
Yes, there is.
And who is this? This is a different place where we've had drinks before?
Different place, yes.
Who's our bartender here? Could you mind? Who's the? We walk up to the bar and inquire as to who the bartender is.
Yep. Give me 1 second here. Larkin Donnelly.
Larkin Donnelly.
Mm-hmm.
Is it, Larkin, is it, sir, is it possible to, do you have bottles of champagne here?
Oh, absolutely.
Is the champagne a mere sparkling wine, or is it from the La Champagne region of France?
From where?
From the specific region of France, where La Champagne region of France, Champagne region of France. Is it from the Champagne region, or is it just labeled as a champagne, a sparkling wine? Could you bring a bottle for us, please? We would appreciate a bottle. Ladies and gentlemen, the champagne is on me.
Yeah, I got something with bubbles in it. Hang on.
Fantastic.
He brings over 5 glasses and an unmarked bottle and pours it out, and it is kind of a greenish yellow color.
Well, that's what we have. Could you bring a bottle of whiskey as well, please?
Whatever you say, sir.
Let's drink the whiskey. Don't touch the champagne, or whatever that is.
So, what developments have I missed today? Things seem to be happening.
Well, some of those coyote fellas are headed up to Montrose to have it out with the gang up there in protection of their cargo.
Yes, the gun. I'm aware of. There's a gang in Montrose.
Oh, Miss Tipple, you need to fill Elias in?
I received a postcard from the Pinkerton home office telling me that a particular gang had taken over Montrose and they've commandeered the train station, which leads us to deduce that they're after the Gatling guns.
Oh, what a curious development. So the gang is going to Montrose, I suppose, to fight?
We hope so.
Oh, well, this may simplify everything. Oh, exciting.
If it works.
Do we
Not
know?
everyone's leaving town, so.
Oh, who is staying? Do we know?
Do we know?
Oh, I saw Roland and several others leaving the gambling hall and heading in that general direction.
Well, Cornelius wants to speak to his sons at the seance tonight during the show, the performance.
Oh, yes.
So we assume he'll be here.
Oh, wouldn't that be a stroke of good luck? Well, this is rather exciting. A shame that I missed it all earlier.
Elias, you said something about the paper that you found?
Oh, goodness, yes, I almost completely forgot. I stopped by the mining town to see if there was a note from the Dr. O'Malley, and I had posted a message about the note that I had found in his medical journal about the Vumbi and the I apologize, I have trouble pronouncing it. You know what I'm talking about, the Nvumbi. It turns out that, well, he wrote me a letter. Let me just read you parts of it here. Something about dark African witchcraft. It apparently came from an ancient book of the dead. A particular passage that I found that we have been trying to figure out what it means. He wishes that he would have destroyed it. Apparently, it is a ritual that is supposed to be able to raise the dead. Now, I don't know if I believe this, but the doctor is a learned man, and if he has true beliefs that this could possibly have worked, he even notes here in his note that he was too scared to try it himself, that he was afraid of what might happen. And he's asked me to burn it, to destroy it forever, but I just have a feeling like perhaps that's not the right thing to do at this very moment in time. Not with so much happening and so much on the line. Oh, Lillian, would you care to take a look at it again, or Dr. Julius?
I'm happy to gather around and take a closer look.
Yes, here's the note from the doctor that explains it a little bit better, and then I have the original here in my pocket. And I kid you not, it almost feels alive. And I lay both of them out on the table.
Isn't that interesting?
That's the same reaction that I had, Doctor.
Oh my goodness.
It seems to me that this isn't from any African tribe at all. This is actually French. It appears to be this is difficult to explain, but the French at this have been colonizing Africa, in Western Africa. And this actually appears to be not from the region itself, but by the handwriting, it looks like it's actually from Europe, from the French.
Can you
So
read
bringing
it?
back from the dead perhaps isn't, as we would think, from the darker parts of Africa.
Are you
Actually,
saying maybe this is a mistranslation?
Not sure. It just doesn't seem. It seems more as if the sources seem French rather than. It seems like something else is going on here.
Are you trying to use your knowledge of the French language to try to interpret that?
Yeah, I think I want to spend a plot point.
Okay.
And that interpret the letter as having come from the French colonizers of Africa rather than from sort of people in Africa.
From the Congo itself.
Yeah, the people that are the sort of people bringing back the dead are not the people in Africa, but rather the French colonizers of Western Africa.
Mm-hmm.
They are experimenting with these things in Africa, but the strange goes back long ago in Europe rather than in Africa. They are pulling from things in Africa, but it's the French colonization sort of using the people of Africa for their own ends. Just kind of shift it culturally a little bit. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that we take it back more to ancient Europe rather than into the regions of Africa.
Okay. And then with your knowledge of the French language, why don't you roll a satiate, because we're kind of taking care of a need here, which is to kind of get to the bottom of this particular script.
All right, what am I rolling?
Satiate, which is instinct.
I rolled an 8.
And you are rising, correct?
I am rising.
Mm-hmm.
And satiate is, oh, I thought it was, what am I rolling? Satiate? I thought I had personality, morality, instinct.
It's an instinct, yes, I'm sorry.
Oh, so I'm +1 on that, and I'm +2 rising, so +3, so I'm 11 on that.
Okay. All right. So you got narrative control over the translation.
Yeah, so the source is French going back. These experiments seem to have gone back I have knowledge at least, the experiments have gone back in France through the medieval ages, through the monasteries of France, and even back before that. And that the French somehow, by going down to Africa, have been doing these experiments in Africa that are, and using their language, and sort of they're trying to make it look like it's not coming from France. But it's actually European and French.
And do you want me to translate that for you?
Yes.
Okay. Now, before I do, I have to backtrack for just a moment. Since you succeeded in that role, you do get a plot point and a +1 to your arc. And Bill, you get a plot point and a +1 to your arc for succeeding in your role against Roland.
Cool.
And where does that put both of you guys now?
I'm at +3.
Okay.
+4.
Okay. So in translating that, the words kind of reveal themselves to you, and you kind of have to put 2 and 2 together a little bit to kind of put it into terminology that really makes sense. So you may be maybe just a little off in your translation here, but what you've come up with is the following. And the sea gave up the dead. Oh, wait, sorry, that's not it. Here it is. Okay. Brittle bones and rotten skin, decaying in the tomb you're in. Dead flesh, shamble for the cause, take back our world, what once was. Dead brains come alive, overthrow the current reign. Nevermore you'll be a slave, fight for freedom from the grave.
I agree with you mostly, except I think your word freedom, I think the translation in French is closer to liberation rather than freedom. So just letting you know that I think your translation might have been a little bit off on that.
I really don't know. You're really talking to yourself because that's your translation.
I'm just playing with you.
So you may correct yourself if you like.
Yep.
Can you read the last 2 lines again?
Nevermore you'll be a slave, fight for liberation from the grave.
Thank you.
Yeah, so that's what it says.
Well, what the heck does that mean?
Is that a poem? It doesn't even rhyme.
Can you drop it in the chat, Chris?
I'll probably have to type it.
Do you have it in a, did you just make that up on the fly? Did you just make that up or do you have it written out?
Oh, I wish I could say I just made that up, but I wrote it out. Yeah, the old style writing. Yes.
You want to double check what I wrote, Chris?
Wow, that was
Sure.
Fast.
You posted it. I take it.
In the chat as best I could.
Okay.
My mother always said I had a decent memory.
Brittle bones and rotten skin, decaying in the tomb you're in. Dead flesh, shamble for the cause. Take back our world to what once was. Dead brains come alive again. Overthrow the current reign. Nevermore you'll be a slave. Fight for liberation from the grave. And I probably mispronounced again. It should be again and reign. Yeah. So it does rhyme. So
So, first of all, that's amazing, Chris. But everybody, what do you think overthrow the current reign means? What would the current reign be in this situation?
Well, I suppose it would be the Coyote Gang. They seem to be the ones in charge, correct?
That's
But
the
isn't
way I
this
read it.
ancient text or is it a modern text?
That is an
Oh.
ancient text, yes.
You were speaking for the time it was written. I apologize.
I'm sorry, where did this text come from? Where did you get this, doctor?
I found this in the medical book that Dr. O'Malley gave me. According to him, he was given it to. It came from a book that a man gave him as payment. It was the only thing that he said he had of value, and he could not afford to pay the doctor. So the doctor accepted it graciously, and over several months he translated it and realized that it was a book of the dead, essentially. He found a former slave that was able to help him translate it as best as he could. I don't know how accurate the translation was or how much the doctor truly understands, but that is apparently where it came from. I found this one particular page hidden away in the lung section of the medical journal that he gave me.
Lillian, could this be an evocation of some sort? Could it be a kind of what you might even think of as a spell?
I think it can be. It looks like a rallying cry or some sort of something you would shout from the rooftops or whisper in dark corners to bring someone over to your cause or to raise some sort of spirits. Wow. It's very powerful words. I mean, it could be very specific. I mean, Elias even heard it speak to him in his current, situation with the Coyote Gang. But it also is very universal. Oh, it's much clearer in the original French.
Yes, it is.
I mean, it speaks to throwing off shackles, whether that's of this world and evil governance, or throwing off the corporeal shell that houses our spirits.
Mm-hmm.
Would you perhaps try it in your show? Is it too dangerous, do you think? I mean, is it something worth exploring? Or should I burn it as the good doctor asked?
No, we don't want to burn it. The other possibility is when we light the tasimeter, we use it at the same time.
Sorry, Kurt, could you say that again?
Well, in my theories, energy is time and space. Energy is somehow related to time and space. And the reason I want to build a tasimeter here at the particular time of the eclipse is to capture that intense energy from the sun. In that moment, that focal energy in the tasimeter, which will give us energy like we've never seen before, captured in one space. Then the idea is to see if we can bend space and time, or open something in space and time. I know it sounds crazy, but if this is indeed has magical qualities to it or otherworldly qualities to it, wouldn't hurt to read it at the same time, would it? Might be an interesting experiment.
Well, I mean, what's the worst that could happen?
I think it, we want to, there are more things in heaven and earth than are dreamt of in your philosophy, Horatio. We want to find out about those things in heaven and earth, don't we? So why not?
Bill?
I don't know. All this stuff makes me pretty uneasy. If it's it's anything like what happened up at the Pueblo the other night, I don't know. It's all kind of gives me the heebie-jeebies, quite frankly.
I think it might have the desired effect in that case, because if we are trying to achieve something at the precise moments of the eclipse with the tasimeter, we may want some sort of incantation to give the heebie-jeebies to those who might come for Julius in that moment, or try to knock over the tasimeter or stop whatever's happening. You know, I don't know what will happen, but if there's something that can keep their attention or keep them transfixed, then maybe it's worth trying.
I think it's fate, destiny. We are here at a particular moment in time, the time of the eclipse. We've all gathered here at this given moment of time. We have a means of harnessing the power of the sun, and this has fallen to our hands at this particular time. It all has to have some purpose, some meaning, some connection, doesn't it?
It would seem so. I'm on board. You just let me know what it is I can do to help, and I'll be there. I'll make copies of this if I need to, just in case we happen to lose it.
With your magic photocopier?
Oh, no, I'll write it out by hand.
That would be helpful.
But the translation...
For us all to have this in hand. But I think this is for the future. I think right now we need to worry about, don't we need to worry about this train station?
Well, I suppose. I thought you all took care of it. You were sending the Coyote gang up
I
there.
don't know. Did we take care of it? Did someone take care of it? Did we take care of it? Who took care of it?
Well, we got the Coyote gang to go up there.
Oh, we did.
Yeah.
They'll probably be gone for a while. I don't know how long though.
Yeah, I figure if it's half a day up there and half a day back, if they make it back, that buys us a little bit of time at least.
So should we put on a show to save the town? Okay, there you go.
Where did you guys go? Did you go back? You're back at the
On the gambling hall.
gambling hall, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just trying to keep tabs of where you are. Okay. So is there anything more to do at this point? We've kind of reached the end of a discussion, I think, as far as the train station and this page from the Book of the Dead.
Yeah, my sense is that if all of the Coyote gang or the top echelon and all everybody went to the train station at Montrose, then the show might be postponed, since the show is for their benefit. But if Cornelius and any number of them stayed behind, then possibly the show is going on just to a smaller audience. And until then, I have nothing more to do but prepare and meander about town, have cups of tea, you know.
Okay.
Cornelius left with Roland and them out of the gambling hall.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So are we going to disperse for a little while and kind of go our separate ways?
Dr. Julius, is there anything on the tasimeter that we could be working on while we wait?
Oh, we still need to assemble several additional parts. I have a list here for that I still need to collect. So I'm not sure where to find these pieces. If you could help me with that, that would be.
Oh, absolutely, yes. I know everybody in town. Perhaps I could call in some favors if I think somebody might have something, or...
Let me just share it with you all here. Here's the list. And if you see anything on here that you can acquire, about 7 more items that I've had trouble acquiring. Do any of these, once we can acquire these, we can start building it.
The blacksmith
finish.
stores a lot of his extra metal bits and crates and things in the entrance to that cave we went in.
Well, take a look.
Maybe there's
Tell me,
something
do you
in
think we
there.
have all 7 of these, or do we need to do something else?
Do you have a list up there?
No. Do I have a real list? No.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's fine. Just was checking. I
Theater
Didn't
of
know
the
if I-
mind at this point.
didn't know if I missed something. So,
I could think
so-
of it.
so Elias is going to attempt to help you try to come up with a few things. Miss Tipple, you were going to help participate in that. Is that correct?
I'll help him.
Lillian is going to continue to gather her accoutrement for the performance tonight. And Bill, then what's on your agenda?
I'm pretty handy. I figure if you guys get the parts you need, I can help you put stuff together. I'm mechanically inclined.
Thank you. I mean, if you would like to see, it's really not a list. It's really sort of a diagram I have here of the larger tasimeter we'd like to build. And I can say that, we'll need to, there's several parts that we'll need here. If you can see, we will need this piece, this gear right here. We will need this, I don't have this coupling mechanism. And this is very hard, but this kind of V-shaped apparatus, very difficult to find. And most of the pieces here are the last of the 7 of this apparatus right here. So to be specific, those are the pieces we need.
Well, the coupling, perhaps we could. It may be dangerous because of the outbreak, but I could go and leave another note for the doctor and see if perhaps there's anything in the mining town. If they found any oil or anything there, then perhaps they would have something that we could use for that, or even for that strange counterweighted V-shaped ball thing. I mean, perhaps somebody there could fashion something for us.
And
I'll
Kurt,
head down.
could you pull that up again for me?
Of course. Oops, sorry.
Oh, Dropbox.
It's easy. If it's easier for you,
Okay,
I
got
can
it.
share the diagram, and actually
Yep, I got it.
I put it in the chat if you want to just open the Google slideshow. These are all my character information and diagrams and such.
Mhm. Okay, yeah, I've got it. Okay, so the 4 of you guys, Julius, Elias, Bill, and Alice, can go about the town and try to help to gather these materials, and I'll get back to that here in a second. For Lillian, where are you heading first? Are you going back to the hotel room?
I think I may have already what I need from the hotel room.
Okay.
I'd be heading back toward either the stage or where the theater encampment is to make
Okay.
sure that everything there gets to the stage.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you head back up to the encampment, and the magician and the rest of the troupe are there, and they too are busying themselves to get ready for the evening. And the great Manconi spots you as you're coming up the hill, and he waves at you and kind of calls you over.
Hi,
He said,
Anconi. Hey, the great.
he says that I noticed that there's a bit of a commotion in town, and Cornelius sent one of the gang up to speak with us. It looks like right now, it looks like we're all trying to get ready for this evening's entertainment, but at this point we're kind of packing things in. It seems that the performance tonight is canceled. He did not make mention of the reasoning behind it, but he's going to postpone it at least for a couple of days. But we are apparently off the hook for the evening.
Okay. Did he say why? What's going on?
No, it seemed as though there was some sort of emergency, and they shot out of here like a bat out of hell. Once they came in, they gave us the word that tonight's performance would be canceled, and they would get back to us whenever they return, whatever that means.
So Cornelius also left town?
I don't know about Cornelius. No, he sent one of his boys up here, or a couple of them. Ethan, I think, is the name of the gentleman that I spoke with, but there were two others with him, of whom I do not know their names.
Okay. So what do we do now?
But they were on horseback, and they took off rather quickly afterwards.
Okay.
What we do now?
Yeah.
I suppose whatever we do to bide our time.
Okay.
Do you think that they're leaving?
That would be great, wouldn't it?
If they are, perhaps this is our chance to get out of here. I wonder how long they will be gone.
That is a good question.
You seem to know your way around town a little bit. Perhaps you might be able to find out something for us.
I've been spending a lot more time around town, and I guess the place to start is to find out how many are actually heading out of town and how many are staying. If all of them are heading out, then this is our chance to get out of here.
Yes, it would be.
I'd better go back and investigate, I suppose. Ask around.
Yeah, see what you can find out. My curiosity is certainly piqued.
Okay.
And we must take advantage of this if this may be our only chance.
Okay. You're not thinking about up and leaving without me. If I go back to town, well, how will I know what the situation is?
Well, of course not. You're a valued part of the troop. I wouldn't leave without you.
Okay.
But I rely on you to let us know whether or not it's safe.
All right. I guess I'll head back to town then.
Okay. And he kind of turns back and goes about his business as well. For the rest of you, in gathering these supplies, I think that we're attempting to take care of a need in this case. So all four of you should roll instinct to see if you can come up with the necessary equipment to help Julius complete his tasimeter. And so that's an instinct roll, satiate.
I rolled a 7, and I've got a +1 instinct, and I'm rising at
Okay,
a +4. So
So that's an 8 for you. The plus 4 and so forth, that doesn't add to your rolls,
Yes.
but that just shows where you are, either rising or falling.
Okay, so technically I am falling technically from the way back cat murder. So I have one. I only have +1 when rising. So.
So it's just when rising. You don't have a. Do you have a 0 there?
I have a 1 instinct and +1 when rising.
Okay, so you always have a 1, regardless. So you do have 1 extra that you can add to that.
And I got a 9.
Okay, so you've got a 10. And Julius,
I rolled a 5.
and do you have anything to
One.
add to yours?
Just 1. So I have
Just 1. Okay. And Elias.
I rolled an 8, and I have a +1 and a +1, so I have a 10.
Okay. All right. So Miss Tipple and Elias can narrate their outcome. And Bill, you succeed in yours, which I would narrate for you. And Julius, you failed your roll. So you then
Broke the other pieces of the tasimeter. We found your parts. What happened here? The room's a mess, Doctor.
I'm not very good with the locals. Couldn't find the pieces I needed.
you receive a -1 arc.
Ah!
But you are still rising, so you're not actually falling, but you're 1 less than where you were. And then I will narrate the outcome of that. But you'll be the last one, so we'll take care of everybody else first. So, Bill, I'll take care of you first. You, since you have been back and forth to the general store quite a bit with the owner there, Mr. Griffey, kind of returned to his shop to try to gather some materials from him. And perhaps maybe you might have sketched out, a few of the things that Dr. Julius was in need of. And I'm going to pull up my picture here. Give me just 1 second. Okay, so the little tube that kind of runs out of the chimney. He has a pipe of cast iron there at the store that you would be able to purchase off of him without much issue. That's something that he actually kind of had behind the counter. He's looking at what you had drawn out, and when Julius and the others were there earlier, that was something that they easily missed. It wasn't something that was just in the shop proper, but just something he happened to have behind the counter. And just based off of the drawings and the measurements that you have written down by it, he has something that's long enough for you to be able to utilize for that.
Okay.
So you have that item. Miss Tipple and Elias, you guys have narrative control over yours. So you can tell me where you go and what it is that you found.
After you, Miss Tipple. Ladies first.
I'm going to go look in the crates and extra buckets of metal bits that the blacksmith keeps in the front entrance of that cave as a storage place. So if Elias, if you want to come with me, if you're going to go look somewhere else.
No, I actually have a place I'm going to check. I have an idea of where I may be able to find something of great value for the tasimeter.
And do we need to meet back somewhere, possibly at Dr. Randolph's lab, his room, his lab?
That sounds good.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I go to the cave and dig through buckets and crates and just random stuff laying around. And I find, I don't remember what any of the parts were except for the V-shaped thing with the balls on it. And I don't want to find that. So I don't remember what
There are gears and stuff like that.
gears. I find some gears.
And a coupling mechanism.
I don't even know what that is. So I find some gears. I know it. Of several sizes and pick them up, and maybe a few other bits of flat pieces of metal and a spring or two. See if he can use any of that. And I head back to Dr. Randolph's.
Okay.
Food,
And Elias.
wherever we're meeting.
I may have to spend a plot point for this, but
Okay.
I remembered seeing something in the doctor's in the back with his equipment. I need to head back to Dr. O'Malley's and check on Ava anyway. So I pop back into Dr. O'Malley's office and peek my head in, and Ava's hanging out with, she's still not doing great, but she's got someone there looking over. Ladies, everything all right? Is there anything I can do for you? You're okay?
She's awake now, and she takes a very labored, deep breath. I'm fine, and the girls have told me what you did, and I thank you. I owe you my life.
Oh, Ava, you don't owe me anything. It's the least I could do. I'm simply glad that I was able to help, and I didn't accidentally do more damage than had already been done. Now, you take it easy, all right?
I'm afraid that this town has long taken you for granted, Elias. You are a man that has lived in the shadow of this town for a long time, and I thank you for what you did for me, and if I make it through this, I will sing your praises from the ledges.
Well, thank you, Ava. That's very kind of you. And you will make it through. I know you will. You're a strong woman. You've already been through enough. This won't be the end of you. No, I hate to say this, but I do have some other things I must attend to. And is there anything else?
Bless you, Elias.
Oh,
no. God bless you.
Okay, I may be making some noise for a moment, but I will be out of here shortly, and you can get back to your rest. I'm going to run to the back of the doctor's office because I saw a very interesting piece of equipment there that I'm going to spend a plot point on. Okay. It is essentially like an old school suction type device, and it happens to have a V shape with some heavy weighted balls that when it gets spinning creates the suction. And then he has some tubing that goes out. So if the doctor was treating wounds or bleeding or anything, he would actually have the ability to essentially vacuum it out. It was like a little mini centrifuge. And when the balls get going, they kind of keep it going, and you can just knock them very quickly and they keep going. And it happens to look just like what we might need for the tasimeter.
Okay.
So I'm going to disassemble because I don't really know how to use it anyway. So I'm going to look at it. Oh, this looks like it could potentially be a piece that we are needing. So I'm going to disassemble that little bit and haul it over to Dr. Julius.
Okay. Now, since the three of you, Elias, Bill, and Miss Tipple, have succeeded in yours, you all did rise in doing that. So you get a +1. So Miss Tipple, you were at a -1, is that correct? Okay. So now you're at a +1. You never go back to flat.
Yay.
And that puts Bill at 5, right?
Right.
Okay. Now, you have achieved the top of your arc. So you can no longer fall at this point. And at any point from here on out, you may choose to resolve Bill's character, and he can come to a heroic end at any point that you decide. And if you do decide to do that at any point, you still remain in the game, and you will receive 5 plot points that you can take over the narrative from me and basically become the storyteller for however long it takes. Okay.
Yep.
And then Dr. Julius.
What are you gonna do? Like, go get a whiskey and just relax? Then, I mean, are you like done? You're just gonna get some.
No,
You guys have a great time with the coyotes, whatnot.
He's still an active participant right now.
No, I mean, like if he took over the whole storytelling, then what are you gonna do? You don't have a
what am I gonna do? Yeah,
yeah.
I'm gonna go down and get a whiskey. Yes.
Yes, you were saying yes. I'm
So
here. Can't find the materials in this town.
the other 3 have returned to bring you the wares that they have found. So that certainly gets you a little bit further along where you wanted to get. But the one thing that you're having the most of...
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for finding these. I can't believe you did this. I had such bad luck.
The one thing that you're going to probably have the most difficulty finding is kind of a standalone chimney that you can use, because that's what that big brick thing kind of looks like to me, right? Is that powered by heat?
Well, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So
we need heat. It's a supplemental heating source.
Mm-hmm. And that's going to be something that you're going to have to build outside somewhere, probably. So what you're likely going to have to do is have some bricks and mortar probably delivered to you, because there's not enough here to be able to do something like that. And everything that you can find right now is currently in use by members of the community itself. And try as you might, you were not able to allow any of them to get any of them to allow you to disassemble theirs and take it where you need it to build what you need to build. So it's going to probably be a couple of days or so for you to be able to do that. So you're going to have to send a telegram to have the mortar and the bricks delivered to you to be able to complete this.
So bricks are my problem. I've got all the mechanical devices, but I can't find fucking bricks. God damn it.
Bricks.
Bricks.
Does it have to be made out of brick?
We find 3 little pigs.
Can we make it out of adobe? Clay, mud pack?
Yes, it doesn't have to be bricks. I think that was our original designs because we were in New Jersey, close to New York, and now we're constructing, of course, many of our buildings are constructed with brick, and houses are. But yes, apparently there isn't a whole lot of brick here in Devil's Canyon.
There's lots of dirt up by the Pueblo. I mean, nothing's made of mud brick, right?
Yes, the Mexican, I don't know if Pueblo is the right word, but the Mexican, the sort of Spanish conquistadors church is made. Is it a church? Is it a church or is it a, what is it?
It was
Church
an old
compound.
Pueblo building that probably the first settlers here that just kind of turned into
it is made of clay, so I think we could probably make the chimney out of a clay that could withstand heat.
Well, and there is There is actually an old, just wood-fired adobe oven up there that might
well,
work for your purposes.
will absolutely work for our purposes. If we built a
Looks
tasimeter
like
around,
that.
oh, perfect, that's great. If we built a tasimeter around that, plus it's up on the hill, closer to the sun during the eclipse, it will be the perfect location. We don't need to move it, we just build the tasimeter around it. Would that work?
You're welcome to do that. I can spend a plot point on that if I need to.
Well, thank you, we appreciate that. I can put a plot point as well. I have many plot points in my...
Well, whoever wants to spend a plot point, spend away, because I think that deserves a plot point.
Would you like to, Mr. Bill, characterizing about ascend to heaven?
Mr. Bill. Oh no!
Yeah, I'm happy to spend that plot point.
Before you ascend.
Before I ascend to the higher realm of story control.
And yes, thank you for that, Mr. Bill.
Okay.
Thank you for your sacrifice.
So it will take a little while to begin to assemble all of this stuff. Are you going to
Many of the components already assembled.
Mhm.
We just need to sort of, it will take some time, probably at least a day at this point, I would say.
Okay, so are you going to take all that stuff up the hill and work tonight?
Well, I'm hoping my friends will help me and that we will perhaps take it through the tunnels. And I don't think I would work, well, we could work through the night but I'm worried about this machine gun arriving from the train station and needing to put my efforts into that as well. So I'm thinking that maybe we should all get a good night's sleep after such a busy day. And then tomorrow, during the day underground, we can start to take pieces of it if people are willing, and if we haven't heard anything more from the gang. But we don't know what's coming tomorrow, so I'd like to get a good night's sleep. I tend to get 8 hours a night. I like to go to bed at 10 and rise by 6, if that's possible.
What time is it right now in the game?
It's probably late afternoon at this point.
Okay.
I do enjoy an evening cocktail.
All right. Well, since we are getting pretty close to 11 o'clock, I'm going to fast forward through the cocktails. And sorry. and push you guys towards, turning in for the evening. And prior to this, Lillian, you would have kind of scouted around town just a little bit to kind of find out what the situation is on the Coyote gang, and see, kind of what the situation is there. And a good portion of the gang, the main portion of the gang, which consists of Roland and Ethan and Evelina, Jacques Bush, and Jake Callahan. Oh, hello, Cat. They took some of the rest of the boys up to Montrose with them to confront the gang. But they did leave, a small faction of the gang behind, some of which that are not well known, but just members, unnamed, shall we say, members of the gang, along with Cornelius himself. He has stayed behind with Nelson Morrow, and Waverly has stayed behind as well. So the patriarch of the family and his son are still left behind, kind of with his right-hand man as well. But he did send his brother up with the other folks, and his brother's kind of the one that's leading the charge.
This Jake?
I think that was Jake, yes. Yeah. Oh, cat, you're killing me. Get down. So that's at least the news that you have. Now, is that something that you want to take back to the magician, to the great man Coney?
Would you like me to take it back to the great man, Cody?
Oh, well, I mean, that's completely up to you.
I'm a little concerned because I don't want to leave my I don't want to leave the doctor's gang in the lurch and get out of town, and I'm a little bit afraid that the great man Coney is gonna hightail it out.
Okay.
So on my way out of the encampment, I actually, because I don't really trust him. He's a bit cowardly, maybe weaselly. I grabbed my most treasured belongings in the knapsack, so I'm kind of carrying what I need. My roll of cash, the tricks of my trade, and actually I'll mention I actually rolled a 10 because I had seen those plans too. So as I was making my way back to town to learn all of this about the gang, I stopped and chatted for a bit with Eel Boy, who does one of the acts, half man, half eel. And what I saw in the drawing as the triangle piece looked a little bit like the sextant that he uses in all of his nautical tools. So I managed to borrow that from him. It might be duplicative of what we've already got, but in a pinch, it could stab somebody, if I need to pop a balloon or.
Yeah, and I'm sorry I skipped over that. I apologize. I got a little carried away.
No, that's cool. So I'm hesitant to go right back to Manconi with this information. I think I'll maybe just head to the hotel and see if I can connect up with Alice or with anybody who is, back in town and see where we are on gathering what we need.
Okay.
But I don't see anybody.
And if it's all right, I'll have you kind of pop back by your room real quick, maybe to drop off, the piece that you had picked up from the Eel Boy. And it's dark now. Evening, has settled in. So you walk into the room and you're heading over to light your lamp so you can see. And as you're walking in, you see a flame that lights up in the corner of the room. And there's a man sitting in your room lighting a cigar. And as you turn and you see that light, you see the door close behind you. There's someone else in the room as well. And he says, well. Quite the performance you've been giving out there, little missy. I don't know how you got that whole gang, almost the whole gang, to up and leave out of town, but it's quite impressive, I must say.
Sir, I don't know who you are, but you'd better identify yourself. This is very improper.
Name's Hurley Van Camp. This is my brother, Dixon Van Camp. I suppose if you look really deep down inside yourself, you know why why we're here, don't you?
Maybe I do, maybe I don't.
Playing it safe, I see. Well, let me make it clear for you. What's that?
Does he look a little like this?
No, he looks, and it's hard to see in the darkness, but he looks a little like this.
Okay, this is not who I expected then.
And this is his brother, Dixon.
Okay.
Well,
So what's
let me
your
clear
business?
it up for you. Mrs. Centicott has put a mighty fine price on your pretty little head. And yes, my dear, we have come to collect. However, fortune must be on your side, my little fortune teller. You see, it has come to our attention in speaking with the good senior Callahan that there is someone in this town with an even bigger price on their head. You see, there's a man up on the hill, a certain ne'er-do-well named Bill McLean.
Yeah.
Old Dumbluck Bill has had his face plastered on wanted posters across 4 states. And we know a handful of folks that'll pay top dollar for his head on a platter. So you, dearie, are in a perfect position to fade off into the sunset. All you got to do is bring old Dumbluck Bill to us, and we can tell the old missus, well, you just slipped right through our fingers.
Why would I trust you?
Well, I guess you don't have to. I guess you can just come along with us right now, if that's the case. So, what's it going to be? Shall we put the cuffs on you right now? You can take a walk with us.
Well, not so fast. What did you say this guy's name is again?
Bill McLean, holed up in the old church up at the top of the hill overlooking the city.
I guess I can ask around. It might take me a while. We can't move around here with complete freedom. This town's on a stranglehold.
Don't play dumb with me, girl. We saw you go into the cave, come back out of it. We know the back way through. We know you've been dealing with them. So you bring him to us, and we say goodbye.
Who's put this price on his head?
Who's put the price on his head? Well, 4 states worth of lawmen and some other folks who have a vested interest. You're dealing with a thief. You realize that, right?
Now, I don't know what you mean I'm dealing with, but I'll try to do what you need me to do. But I want you to know, this woman that you're working for, she doesn't know what she's talking about.
Don't matter to me. All that matters is the dollar sign that's floating over your head or Bill's head. And you tell me how much money I'm going to make, and I'll make it. I can either make it on you or I can make it on Bill. I'd much rather make it on Bill.
How much is he worth?
10,000. You're only 5.
How much do I have?
How much do you have on you? I don't know. How much do you have on you?
I have to figure that out. Well, do you mind getting out of my rooms?
Sure. You've got till tomorrow morning to give us your answer. We'll be right across the hall. Didn't even know we were there, did you?
No.
Have a good evening, ma'am. And that'll be our cliffhanger for next time.
You're really trying to get Lillian to turn on the whole group. You gave her
Oh.
2 opportunities tonight.
What was the other one? Did I miss the other one?
No, leave town with the
Oh,
troop.
leave town. Well, that's true.
Just-
That's
yeah.
true. Yeah. That was her fault.
Man,
I was really trying to push her towards the hotel so I could get that one out. All right. So I think brings us to a close for tonight. Mikey D, I guess you need to start thinking about some plot points to bring in next time.
I have a picture of the shorty guy, the
Oh,
leader
do you?
of the group.
Okay.
His photograph was in the 3-ring binder of gangs and outlaws up at head office, and he's a bit of a dandy. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, let's look at this fella. Oh, yeah. He is a bit of a dandy.
That's the shorty.
Okay.
He's not short. That's the joke. He's like 6'3" or something. He's quite a bit taller than all the rest of the guys in his gang.
And Christy, that picture that you showed me,
Mhm.
who was that?
He's an associate. He might actually be the brother of Annie.
Okay.
They were close. So I was concerned. He's the one I've got my eyes peeled for, but these
Okay.
characters must be just for hire.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Well, good game, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
These
Thank you, Fred.
2 weeks are crawling by in between these times, so I'm enjoying this. Hope you guys are too.